Okay, this video is about tapping. Right? There's this guy I used to follow. He does EFT Fast Tapping. Or is it Fast Tapping? No, I think it's EFT Fast Tapping. And he did the shorter version. He just went right to the point. And I liked his stuff. It was pretty good. And I like tapping. I think it's great. And you'll see a lot of similarities with tapping and the methods that I like to show everybody. Very similar, just different method. So if you'll notice, like with this version, what he does is he says, okay, bring up something in the past that's been bugging you, or whatever you're feeling that's making you uncomfortable, if it's a symptom or a thought, whatever it is, go towards it and bring it up. So he'll be like, all right, are you there? What is it, a memory? Okay, memory. And he'll be like, how do you feel? He's like, oh, some people cry, some people start shaking, some people are like, start getting angry, right? He's like, okay, so stay there with it. What number is it at? They'll be like, oh, it's at a, he's like, out of 10. They're like, it's out of 10. He's like, okay, stay with that. And I want you to let it do its thing. I want you to feel that emotion. Whatever you're feeling, let that be there. And then they'll be like, he's like, all right, now I want you to start tapping. And then he'll be like, I think he goes here, no, here, 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 here on his collarbone, and then here, and then he goes, peace. Then he goes, okay, so you did that. Now let's go back to your memories. Like, so what do you bring it up? And the guy will be like, okay, I got it. It's back. He's like, well, what are you feeling? He's like, same feelings, feeling, anger, sadness, whatever it is. He's like, what number are you at? And he'd be like, I'm still at a 10. He's like, all right, feel that, the emotion behind it, feel it. And he's like, all right, now start tapping. So then people start tapping, and then he goes, make sure when you're tapping, this is very important, right? When you're tapping, make sure you're focusing on where you're tapping, and make sure you are tapping in the right places, right? You can't just tap Rooney anywhere. You gotta tap here, and then tap here, and then you gotta hold your hand, or tap here, and then you gotta, I forget what it was, right? But he was very specific. You have to tap there, and then you hold your hand like this, or like this. This was it. Peace. And he said right at the end, when you say peace, think of something beautiful, a memory of something beautiful. He's like, peace. He's like, now do it again. And he's like, keep doing it until the number goes down from a 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And don't stop. It could take you 2 hours. It could take you a week. It could take you 2 months. He's like, it doesn't matter. Keep tapping, and then eventually it'll go away. And then a couple of these people, because they came up to the front and he did the example right then and there. He's like, so you've had back pain, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, so he did the whole routine. And then after, he's like, all right, so how does your back feel? And they're like, oh my God, I feel fine. I feel good. Oh my God. He's like, see, it does work. So what we did is we went back in time, and we pulled up an emotion, right? And we let it do its thing. We let it be, heard. And then we started tapping, and the tapping, and then, this is where the people, when you see in other videos, go, so when you tap, what happens is you hit these meridian lines, and you're able to tune into your vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve, you're activating the vagus nerve. So it's like, it's like, oh my God, I'm activating the vagus nerve. Oh my God, I'm activating. It's activated. It's activating right now. Activate vagus nerve. Right? And the meridian lines, like, oh my God, these meridian lines, they cross through here, and then you channel with your energy, with your higher self. It goes right around here. Your higher self, and the energy floats through the meridian lines, and it gets rid of the energy, the bad energy that you dealt with your memories or a symptom or whatever it is. So when you tap, you make sure that you're hitting these meridian lines in these spots right here, and here, and here, and here, and here, right there. So people are like, I gotta make sure I'm tapping on these, right. It's gotta be right there. It can't be here. Can't be. It's gotta be right there. So they're very very detailed about the instructions, and people need to follow them to the T, right? So I used to do that, and it did work. Some stuff worked pretty good, but now I'm realizing, not now, but a couple of years ago, I realized, I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of similarities with how they're doing this. So this is my view of how tapping works and how it's similar to these methods that I'm teaching. So what's happening is you're doing the same thing. You're going towards the feeling. You're allowing it to be there, right? And then you expose yourself to it. So by running towards it, you expose yourself, you get triggered, right? You're going to feel like shit. Like I always say, you're going to feel like shit because you're triggering, you're opening that door, you're allowing it to give it some space, and you're processing it by allowing it to be there and feeling the emotion behind that alarm, right? I say alarms, and he says, he calls it something else, but I call them alarms. So he said, feel it, okay, and now start tapping, right? And he's very specific about where you tap, because people think, oh, I better make sure I'm hitting it here. When, meanwhile, back at the ranch, it doesn't matter where you tap, but he's telling you it matters. It's important that people think it matters, because if people think it matters, they will make sure that they're tapping in the right spot, because that puts their focus away from the symptom, the thought, or feeling, because they're engaging, right? So when you're tapping and focusing on the tap, you're engaging, right? Because you already acknowledged the alarm, you allowed it to do its thing, but now you're redirecting and engaging away from the thought that you already did, right? You're engaging, blah, blah, blah. And then you're thinking about, well, the meridian lines or it's activating this force field with the vagus nerve, because, the vagus nerve, everybody's talking about the vagus nerve. That's the new buzzword, right? So people, right? Oh my God. So I better tap here because they're engaging about the meridian lines. The meridian, it's like channeling, which, hey, I have nothing against channeling. I believe in that stuff, right? But in this case, it has nothing to do with why they're recovering from their symptoms. But they say it does. So people are engaged and they believe it, right? I better get this tapping spot because meridian lines, it matters. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it doesn't fucking matter. The point of doing this is to get you to engage away from the thought, right? You're shifting. And then they go, okay, go back. So then you go back, you repeat the process. So what it is, EFT tapping, what it is, technically, all it is exposure on turbo. It's my version of exposure on turbo. Mine's more, there's more steps, it's more drawn out, but I think it makes more sense because then people are, there's more of a step-by-step approach because you understand what's going on and you can literally take your little league baseball. Your little league baseball getting involved in the process. With EFT tapping, you don't really know what's going on. You're just doing it. It's fast, and you're getting results somewhat, and that's it. With me, I like to teach people so they understand what's going on. Because if you understand, and if you're learning stuff, then that's more power that you have to recover, and they become powerful tools. So here's my dog Lemmy. He's getting annoyed because she has a bone and he doesn't. So it's not about the meridians, it's about the exposure to the triggers and allowing them to get processed and acknowledged so that these alarms get turned off. And then the brain sees, okay, we can turn that alarm off, and the symptom lifts. And that's it. That's all the tapping is. EFT fast tapping, that's all it is. It's the same shit as what I do, just a little different, right? And it has nothing to do with the vagus meridian nerve or whatever, meridian lines or vagus nerve. So I hope that gives us some clarity, and why not do some tapping today for fun? I don't tap because I got my own versions, and I think they're better for me anyway. So on to the next video.